I congratulate all the especially listeners of this country who are listening. Especially, I will discuss something today about the matured person who have already gotten job, established, completed honors masters and other degrees who are married or unmarried. For the female, yesterday a lady told me within quotation, sir, a lady especially whom she knew, she has been especially performing her conjugal life 26 years. But her husband is Maulana. From the very beginning to up to 26 or 6 years, this especially that is called is the man, husband of this lady, did not give her any peace and tranquility. That particular person's nature was like a beast and who was lower than beast or dog or something like that. And this particular honorable lady I should share, she was a member of VIP family and her nature nurture was very good, qualified person, primary school teacher. And I was told she completed her masters maybe from college. However, she might be like Edward College, Rangpur Carmichael College, Khulna Special BL College, BM College, you are getting of Bristol or other is the college. And every lady especially must get married, it is sure. In this section is this particular is ill-fated is a lady. In spite of being good, she did not get good behavior. I was reported especially by this lady, and later on other especially relative kith and kin of this is a honorable lady who passed her long conjugal life 26 years, pressured her to separate and separate. But under the pressure of circumstances, especially since the torture is especially increased over her for a long time, I should share with you something. In order to complete his honors masters, a person needs at least 26 to 7 years, maybe 8 years, 28 or 26 or 27 or at least 25. But to get this job, a person also need 1 or 2 years. Suppose the lady was especially who is still alive in service and she got married at the age of 28, 26 or 7, and she got especially that school job when she was 28 years old. 28 years old, after justice especially getting job, she got married with a Maulana. I am not blaming all the Maulanas of our society, but I am telling about it in spite of being Maulana, but this particular person does not know the rules and regulation of Islam. He started his torture on his wife. When wife used to get salary from the government, this especially man, so-called beast man, snatched away the amount is special. The salary of this is a lady from the husband from the especially hands of wife, not husband. But especially beside this verbally, physically, mentally, socially, politically, psychologically, geographically, practically, from this various sector and section, this particular is a person who came at the life of this lady as husband. That person was not really husband, was a tormentor. By being a special tormentor, you are getting another special story I should share. That special student got married when she was a student of especially class 10. Later on, she took education, completed SSC as well as graduation masters, and that husband especially is a Bokolom. Husband is Bokolom, of course, where is getting, and nature of the husband is like a robber. Not only robber, but also that person is a cruel-hearted one to murder anyone broad daylight before is any person, as well as to kill any person, chop anyone by the help of especially various kinds of justice, especially maybe sword, maybe knife, maybe justice other thing. It is not matter of fact. And this particular special vagabond used to torture his wife seriously, severely. In the meantime, this particular lady, I should share with you who was a student of our institution and became a mother of three daughters. Thinking about the future of her daughters, she would not segregate and separate from her husband, and in the and that she especially that school what tolerated every torture, operation, depression, repression, etc. In the and that especially without uttering anything, any sentence, any voice, and for fear of losing life, that particular person, especially so-called husband, beast nature, person, dangerous criminal, and especially more ferocious than ferocious is a lion. In my practical life, I did not notice especially that skull. Her skull is a Shimar of Karbala. Of course, I should share, but that particular person I think is more cruel than Shimar. Whatever might be, I did not notice as it is except his nature from the book. Of course, there is getting. Though I got opportunity many times to translate especially this particular book, Bishat Sindhu, written by Mir Moshar Hussain, and especially getting this translation from the beginning to ending, I tried my best to give here a lot of languages like literature, this and that, and especially that school to make student perfect. Some student of mine who have became a doctor, army officer, police officer, etc., as well as especially bank officer, principal officer of bank, other sector and section they became successful listening this particular especially translation, and student is used to say Bengali, I translated. But in my personal life, I did not especially was Ajit, but the nature of that is a particular tormentor husband is more serious than Ajit, more serious than Haman, more serious especially that you are getting Abdullah Jihad. Abdullah Jihad is who made conspiracy, of course, who was administrator of Kufa near Iraq, of course, and this particular is a person, of course, since he made conspiracy, and he was especially that skull is thrown from a far distance, from the ground to especially upward, and he was thrown in on the ground. Later on, he breathed his last. Operation depression, of course, is common thing we cannot deny. Another justice special story what I knew that I should share, that is particularly the person who was beast nature DC1 got married with a beautiful lady. Of course, I should share, he is nothing but a day labor, but his wife is a qualified DC person, and professionally she is especially that is called village doctor. This particular is a man especially who has a daughter who is at present at least 23 to 24, but in this is the time that particular is a cruel hearted is a man segregated, separated and divorced. So my question is that in this is not only this but also we are getting such kind of stories you see in this country are able. Now dear young men, young ladies of this country who did not marry yet and who are going to get married, but especially that is still I have something to say in this section so that you can listen. But the person especially that is called who are men and women, both of you may especially say Tahajjud is a prayer, reading Durud every day. You may pray to the court of Almighty Allah. I am human being man. I must pass my whole life with another person, opposite is a thing, which started from Baba Adam al-Islam, and in the life of Muhammad Sallallahu as well as on Loko 24,000 Paygambor. It was actualized thing throughout the whole country world. 800 crore people who are living and surviving. In Bangladesh, Bangladeshi people are more than 16 crore, but I need a companion. But give me such kind of a companion who will be honest, gentle, and especially who would have humanity, honesty, purity, simplicity, magnanimity, generosity, and who is civilized. Almighty Allah protect I myself from the hand of uncivilized person. In the and that especially young men of our society may pray to the court of Almighty. Young men of this society may pray Almighty. My wife should be chaste. My wife should be wife that is called as a good, gentle, polite, magnanimous and generous. Do not manage any loose moral lady. I am not interested to marry loose moral lady. Since my special youthhood to up to this time, I have been special. I am afraid of you. Therefore, I am interested to get a chaste lady. And my wife should say her prayer 5 times, should perform Islamic task connection, should be afraid of you, should follow the basic principle of Islam, should follow the Holy Quran Hadith, dictation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, can't follow the footprint of Hazrat Fatima, Hazrat Aisha, we are getting Hazrat Khadija, Hazrat Rahima, Hazrat Rabia. In the and that there are so many special ladies in the world you are getting, and especially as well as Hazrat Asiya, so that it is possible on the part of herself to become ready for the next world. Almighty, do not blame me at the court of you for my wife. Almighty, do not blame me at the court of you for my wife. Dear young men, but the young ladies who are listening my voice, especially in Bangladesh, I should share with you something from the statistics. I should share, and a lady when she becomes 18, according to Bangladeshi law, she especially can't be married. She can't be married. It is there will have been especially that is called you are getting hurt wrong decision. There cannot have been any impediment blockade. In my college, I have noticed many ladies who are HSC candidate and who are studying honors as well as first course and honors courses. Many of them are married, and their husbands, I noticed this thing, risk their wives by the help of Honda. What about might be especially married to become a married man? So that is called young ladies of this society who could not marry yet. But first and foremost thing, I should share with you something, and you need to just follow the basic principle of Islam. In the and that you can especially pray to the God of Almighty, since I have come by being a woman in this world, and every man is mortal, woman is not immortal. All person shall have to go leaving the world. But Almighty, I shall have to pass especially my life with a person, but manage for me very good man, gentle, polite, magnanimous, generous, good-hearted, kind-hearted, soft-natured men, and especially who can be disciple of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who especially can be disciple of yours getting other prophet of Islam, who are very good and gentle, who can be the follower of Quran, who will be able to obey the dictation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who have quality like the Sahabis of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who have the qualities especially like is the other good person. My husband should not be multicolored person, and her nature his nature should be good and gentle. And especially Almighty, do not manage any man who is loose moral person, characterless person, not loose moral. Who is characterless is a person who passes his time with especially wine. We are getting wine as well as a woman, and forbidden is a woman. Public is especially that is called as wives. Other personality whose nature is very especially dirty, dark and dirty. In Bengali term, it is called khasta type log. And a person especially who doesn't have common sense at all, and a person especially who cannot understand what is good and bad. A person especially whose nature cannot be changed. I should share with you something. সবার উদ্দেশ্যে একটা কথা বলা দরকার। আমি ইতিপূর্বে আমার ভিডিওতে বলেছি, বর্তমানে ক্যান্সারের ওষুধ তৈরি হয়েছে। সম্ভবত ক্যান্সার রোগ ভালো হতে পারে ওষুধের মাধ্যমে, ডাক্তারদের পরামর্শের মাধ্যমে, রক্ত পরিবর্তনের মাধ্যমে, আল্লাহ পাকের দয়াতে পরিবর্তন হতে পারে। কিন্তু মানুষের যে স্বভাবটা থাকে জন্মগতভাবে, জন্মের সময় যেটা হয় বিশ্বত, এই স্বভাবটা পরিবর্তন করা বড় কঠিন। আমার যারা ভিডিও শুনতেছেন আপনারা একটু আমার কথাটা মিলাই দেখবেন, সমাজের সাথে মিলাই দেখবেন। যারা মেরিড আছেন তারা দেখবেন বিবাহিত অনেক পুরুষ মহিলা আছে যাদের স্বভাবটা এত খারাপ যে পুরুষের ভিতরে আছে, মহিলার ভিতরে আছে, পুরুষের ভিতরে আছে, মহিলার ভিতরে আছে। এক হাতে তালি বাজে না। পুরুষের ভিতরে খারাপ চরিত্রের অধিকারী, সবসময় ঝগড়া বিবাদ পছন্দ করে, মারামারি, কাটাকাটি, অশান্তি, নৈরাজ্য পছন্দ করে। আবার কতগুলো পুরুষ আছে যারা কোথাও কিছু করতে টরতে পারে না, স্ত্রীদের সাথে এসে তারা ক্রেডিট দেখায়, কৃতিত্ব দেখায়। আমার কথা হলো ওই সমস্ত পুরুষদেরকে, তোমরা যদি এত কিছুই করতে পারো তাহলে তোমরা বাইরে যেয়ে এই সমস্ত ক্ষমতাগুলো দেখো, কেন তোমরা মহিলাদের সাথে খারাপ আচরণ করো? Look at especially the life of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how he behaved with his special wives that he is getting within 25 years. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not look at Hazrat Khadija by being dissatisfied. Look at the autobiography of your is getting Ayyub al-Islam especially suffered is mass, long 18 years, and especially we are getting with Ayyub al-Islam, you are is getting this Hazrat Rahima. Hazrat Rahima, of course, is getting, who was a daughter of very aristocratic family, rich family, Jamidar family, but she especially behaved with her husband is subtly, properly, perfectly, adequately. All ladies of this society who have already lost your morality, who have lost your especially, who have become a loose moral lady, who have already become a loose moral lady, I should share with you. Look at the life of especially that is called holy woman of this is the world who got ticket of heaven. You are getting Hazrat Aisha, Hazrat Rahima, as well as especially life partner of other justice, especially famous person or glorious person, prestigious person, or etc. something like that. You are is getting even especially Pharaoh is your wife, and you are is getting Pharaoh is your wife, life partner of Pharaoh. You are is getting Hazrat Asiya, who especially was very beautiful lady among the 4 beautiful lady of the world. Did she lose her chastity? No. Another thing is that is especially that is called Allah mentioned is about it in the Holy Quran about Zulaikha. You are especially that is called is getting about Zulaikha. Allah mentioned especially this particular is Zulaikha addicted is to a person, of course, in what we cannot is deny. Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam, but Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam especially did not look at her naked body. She became naked and nude is totally, absolutely, completely in order to just quench her biological thirst. But this particular is the person, of course, especially name Hazrat, especially this particular is the Prophet of Islam, of course, and he did not look at her second time. So from this standpoint of view, of course, Allah mentioned this everything, but especially this particular lady, Zulaikha, wanted to hide it, but Allah expressed this thing through the Quran. Quran code is the people of the world are getting opportunity to know this information, but neither Zulaikha nor Justice Yusuf alayhi salam did any crime. They didn't do any sexual crime, in spite of his getting especially this opportunity. But question is that is some person is may ask me one question: didn't especially Yusuf alayhi salam hadn't Yusuf alayhi salam any sexual power? Obviously Yusuf alayhi salam had sexual power, we cannot deny. But question is that is a man may be thirsty, he cannot drink any water from the drain, manhole, or especially this or canal, something like that. This especially Yusuf alayhi salam was on that time, especially his youth was full of brim, that but especially on that particular time he was proposed to perform his biological action from this particular lady, as it is being mentioned from the Quran. Open the Quran and get it, and especially this man did not give his agreement. Yusuf alayhi salam especially was very famous, especially person in the world, and most beautiful person after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of the beautiful ladies of the world, Zulaikha was one of them. Whatever it might be, and it was not wrong of Zulaikha, of course, it is getting, and Yusuf alayhi salam beauty was responsible. So far we can understand. Allah mentioned this thing in the Quran for our learning. Therefore, our honorable women, please do not especially that is called lose your morality, lose your justice, especially chastity. If you lose your chastity once or twice, or especially accidentally, you may beg pardon to the court of Almighty. Honorable listener, the person who are characterless is the person man in this society and lose moralities in this society. Of course, especially I do not wish to know your name and fame, your address or something like that, even phone number. but especially if you may pray to the court of Almighty, beg pardon to the court of Almighty, do not receive to this action. At the day of Lord judgment, especially angel will tell, O the people, especially of adulterer, be secret and separated. জেনাকারী দলরা তোমরা আলাদা হয়ে যাও। At the day of Lord judgment, of course, and special seal will be given on their forehead. Angel staff would be able to find out them. Think about it, of course, core and core is the people will stay at the day of Lord judgment. On that is the particular time, of course, you shall have to be ashamed. You shall have to be ashamed to see for your action, of course, you are getting. You did this adulteration secretly, stealthily, etc. যত গোপনে আপনি পাপ করেন না কেন রেকর্ড হয়ে আছে আল্লাহর দরবারে। You may especially do any sin, any action, of course, there is getting socially, politically, biologically, of course, there is getting philosophically. Your action is being recorded is at the court of Almighty Allah. And on Monday and Friday, you see this record is being reached that place. So in course of this time, of course, you will get reward or punishment is for your particular performance and action. What has been is committed is by you. So honorable listeners, among you, there might have been some person who are adulterer, who especially who have lost morality among the women. Please be careful not to perform this task. It will be very preferable action is you may get married, start your conjugal life, be happy, and pray to the God of Almighty. One Bengali speech thing I should share with you something. যারা খবিশ হবেন খবিশিনী পাবেন, খবিশ যারা হবেন খবিশিনী পাবেন, যারা খবিশিনী হবেন তারা খবিশ পাবেন। যেমন শয়তানের বাবা, শয়তানের আসল নাম ইবলিস, ইবলিসের বাবার নাম হলো খবিশ। শয়তান কত খবিশ সেটা তো আপনারা ভালো জানেন। I should share with you something. If you just especially that is called as a perform a bad action, if you are a characterless person, and you will get a loose morality. If you are loose morality, of course, you will get a characterless person. You especially perform a loose action and you have become a loose morality lady many times with so many person, and of course, but your husband may not change his nature after the marriage. Your husband may not change this nature after your marriage, but you would not be able to understand this matter, what is happening. On the other hand, husband is especially continuing he or he is especially that loose moral action with other ladies, maybe public is wife, maybe friends, kin etc. here and there, this and that, of course, Similarly, your wife may continue this action is loose moral action here and there, this and that with her former friends. With her former especially with her cousin, nearest and dearest person, especially by performing this task who have just especially videoed this sense action, and this especially strangers, this stranger is after the marriage of this lady, they may come, they will compel her to do bad action with them, otherwise they may leak out this particular thing what they videoed. And still secretly they may especially they might video this action, as I got opportunity to read in the paper. But later on the conjugal life of this lady whose parents spent a lot of money for her education and for the purpose of marriage, for this and that, of course, only one especially bad picture, ugly picture may collapse down your conjugal life. Honorable listener, especially this superior is the personality of this society, but for this is the reason, of course, the particular is the person who did this such kind of obscene task connection, loose moral action is with your known person, unknown person, in exchange of money, or especially that is called love affair, attraction, this and that, of course, by feeling, etc., etc. You will, before your marriage, you may request to see them to just delete your picture. To delete it, especially immoral picture is what you did is with them, and otherwise especially that is called your father will not let you marry with a vagabond, uncivilized, barbarized, black especially that is called of course you are getting black beast or something like that, and your father will arrange this especially for female person, I am telling, with a good man, gentle, polite, magnanimous, generous, qualified, maybe banker, army officer, police officer, or maybe justice, especially other professional is the person, son of established is the man, businessman, etc. This and that. But the work is what you have done is before your marriage, and your lovers, especially video to see this section, and after your marriage especially, and they will also want you according to their intention, of course you know. But if you know Zibillah min Jalek, you cannot response to their calling, because you did wrong. After marriage you should not do wrong. But since especially they have video with them, therefore this particular they may threat you to publish this video, to reach this thing towards your husband, etc., etc. If your husband will watch it, dear women who are listening my voice, if your husband especially that is called will watch these videos, what was done by you with so many person, many video came one after another. This particular video may be kept reserved at the phone of your husband. Your husband may show you everything to you. Your husband may show you after your marriage, and especially, and your husband may tell you, you can take decision. What kind of decision you can take? I have nothing to say especially. Number one, you may beg pardon to your husband. Suppose your husband is generous, good, gentle, polite, magnanimous, especially who has multi-dimensional quality. But question is that especially that is called, your husband may forgive you, passing social reputation, dignity, this and that, of course you are getting. But especially the stigma, what you have in your especially with yourself, especially your husband shall not forget up to his death. Your husband especially will think, my special wife, who has been passing his time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, etc., etc., this and that, especially he will not forget his past story, what he got from the video. He forgive especially you for fear of social practice and dignity, for fear of justice, this and that, of course you is getting in this and that. But especially your husband shall suspect you after your death. Shall suspect you after your death is especially may not forgive you after your death if you die from any disease or distress. So they are especially that is called young ladies. What is the benefit of doing this action? But especially among you who have already done this action, of course with your kith and kin relative, because of emotion, to become especially modern and ultra modern, to especially feel, to express your feeling, willing, emotion, thought, conception, to become to get test from different person, etc., to get test from different especially career, container, this and that, of course in this and that you became public wife. All of them had already taken grabs especially video, or some of them, of course this thing is a dangerous thing like poisonous snake, and you cannot continue this action with those persons. Suppose you have done this action, biological action with 2-3 dozens of men. Suppose 3 dozens of men you did this action, at least 1 dozen of them especially who suspected you, and especially secretly they have their video. Or suppose among 3 dozen only 6 members have such kind of video. After this and that, if especially this video reaches at the house of your husband, at the mobile number of your husband, think about you, what kind of conflict will come. Suppose your father is top ranking army officer, police officer, or especially industrialist, very rich man, very wealthy man, a strongest political personality, who have influence in the society, who have power, this and that. You may not tell this thing is a shameful thing to your especially father-in-law. But especially that is called your wife may not share this thing. But if you especially that is called wife, or if you show you this everything what happened, and in your mobile phone you have especially videoed, and if you not show this thing to your father-in-law, of course father-in-law may give you consolation, may tell you alright, and especially may beg, and your wife may beg pardon. Obviously, just outwardly you are going to pardon her. Is it ever possible on the part of yourself to pardon especially her from your mind? Dear learners, listeners, I have told you only one side. Another side is that is especially ripe, good, gentle, polite, magnanimous, generous, and just lady who didn't see perform any pervert trust connection, who didn't have any kinds of affair issue with any person, is especially up to her 25, and she passed her life by reading the Quran, by reading especially that is autobiography of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Khulafa Rashidin, Abdul Qadir Jilani Rahmatullah. Other is the good book is she studied. She didn't especially miss her prayer, of course, from the very beginning of her 10 to 12 years old to up to justice, especially marriage you are is getting, but especially that is called if you is the husband wife. If your wife will was your original is nature, if you would perform is such kind of trust connection is going to so many ladies, is especially these ladies, and the video is this action is of course in course of this time they send you, they showed your wife. Think about the mentality of your wife is what will be thought is over you, and up to her death is she will think you a characterless vagabond, a loose characterless is vagabond, of course shameless is vagabond, characterless is vagabond, uncivilized is a person, and especially that is called is the son of bitcs bits, son of this dog. In which and that especially she will scold you, of course especially, but if she beat you by the help of her shoes you are getting, you shall never be able to share this thing is with any person. If you share this thing is with your mother, dear young man, on that is the particular time your mother will also take his issue to beat you mercilessly. Your father shall also do the same action, and your wife is especially is innocent is one. May tell is since I came is here by being is especially wife, I shall not is go. You may beg pardon to the court of Almighty for your former's sinful task connection. You may beg pardon, and you may beg pardon to the court of Almighty. Allah is forgiver, but today you must especially promise with me by touching my hand that you would not go to any ladies except I myself. Since I am your wife, I am halal is for you, I am not haram for you. So especially that is called adjust is yourself with me, beg pardon to the court of Almighty. If your wife is good, gentle, polite, and magnanimous, and in this and that, of course you know about the stigma, suspicion, of course you are is getting, will remain is in the heart of your wife. It is sure. It is very difficult is on the part of you to especially free from your wife from this section. Whatever is might be. We are human being. I should share with you one thing. The person especially who are involved in such kind of is the cases and action and activities, from today you can especially be promised is the bound not to perform is this task. Dear ladies is especially who have done this action, it takes this to make a quarrel by getting especially physical text, especially biological satiety, satisfaction, joy, merriment. Your greed increased is with the passage of time. দু একবার এই কাজটা করার পরে অনেকের লোভটা বেড়ে যায়, when especially this in that লোভ যখন বেড়ে যায়, on that particular time is she start to pass is her life is desperately বেপরোয়া জীবনযাপন করে। In which and that by giving especially false issue of this beautiful is a lady, maybe non-beautiful lady may perform is this touch connection, and she becomes accustomed or habituated, since she is a daughter of very VIP family, rich family, aristocratic family, who is here to cause her thousands of fault. But especially you are getting all the ladies of our society are not a daughter of VIP family, very rich family, aristocratic family, wealthy family, landlord family, etc. But the person especially who performs this task, you may request your former lovers to just delete their particular picture, and this particular special action, I mean deleting action is must be done is in front of you, otherwise there is a suspicion, of course it is getting, because a cup of snake one day it will be very biggest is one that you are getting, it may attract is anyone. May Allah be gracious on us, may Allah help us.